CJ Marks here. Welcome to the Confidence Series. Have a personal fitness trainer in the house. So if you need to get in shape, this is the man to see. Francis Kwapong, thanks for joining us, brother. You well?
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on this show. It's a pleasure.
Thanks for blessing us, brother. Let's just jump right into it.
All
First
right.
question. What is confidence?
Interesting question. What is confidence? I guess it's a feeling of assuredness inside of you. It's um it's that calm feeling you have, and you get there having been through many different experiences, having failed many times, having fallen down 7 times and gotten up 8 times. So it's a sense of calm inside you. It's like you think to yourself, and you say to yourself, yeah, I got this. It's that feeling of, I got this, I'm good, I'm calm. um, but there's also a very thin line between being confident and then losing confidence. I mean, we see it in professional sports, for example. A
Yes.
player can be confident 1 minute, have the best game of his life, and then next game, something happens and he loses his confidence. So yeah, there's a very, very thin line when it comes to confidence, I think.
Indeed, indeed.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get back to thin lines regarding confidence soon enough. But before we do that, hey, brother, how and why did you decide to become a personal fitness trainer?
So when I was in primary school, elementary school, junior high school, or secondary school, as we say in England,
Mhm.
I was extremely skinny, like really skinny. People used to cuss me left, right, and center. I used to get called all sorts of names. Oi, daddy long legs, or your trousers need food. So like I was
Your
really,
trousers need
I
food.
was really paranoid about it. Um, so I said to myself, you know what? I've got to do something about this. Like I want to be fit. And I was surrounded by people who were really into fitness, like
Okay.
in my area, like most of the dudes, they went to the gym, they all looked jacked, and, they were getting all the attention. I was like, wow, man, I'd love to be like that someday. So I thought to myself, yep, let me start going to the gym. Started going to the gym. I noticed changes, and people started to notice the changes in me, and people started asking me questions. Oh, oh, you look good. How did you do this? How did you get like this? What do you recommend that I can do for my arms, my legs? And yeah, so I was just firing off advice, and it kind of became a passion. And I thought to myself, hold on, I love fitness. I can wake up at 4 a.m. and
Mhm.
go to the gym, and I would have no problems. 3 a.m., go to the gym, 3 a.m. I can get up at 3 a.m. to train somebody. I would have no problems. So it was a passion. So I thought to myself, you know what? This is a passion. I know what I'm doing. I have the experience. Why not, try and make a career out of it? And that's how it started,
Okay. All
basically.
right. Excellent. Well, obviously, as a personal fitness trainer, you spend a lot of time in the gym. I go to the gym as well. I'm not as in great shape as you, but I do go to the gym.
You're in good
And
shape.
thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Now, we both know, or we all know that in the gym, sometimes you see those folks that are really into themselves, really into themselves. In your opinion, what is the difference between confidence and arrogance or narcissism? So, speaking about fine lines, where does confidence end and narcissism or arrogance begin, in your opinion?
Um, I think confidence is the feeling inside of you. You know. I'm just talking in the fitness realm. So
Okay.
you look good. You don't need anybody to tell you that you look good, because you know deep down inside. And you don't necessarily need to what's the phrase I'm looking for? You don't necessarily need to be loud about it.
Mm,
Okay. Whereas
mm,
I think arrogance, I think to a certain extent, I think arrogant people can, okay, let me just first answer your question. I think with arrogant people, I think they want to show, or they want everybody to know, they want to be noticed by everybody.
Mm.
And sorry, there's just noise in the background.
No problem.
So let me start again.
Mhm.
So basically with arrogant people, I think they thrive on the attention
Mhm.
that they get from others. And I actually think it in a way, it kind of shows how insecure they are, because
Mm.
they need people to tell them how great they are for them to feel good about themselves.
Mm.
Um, yeah. So I think it stems from insecurity,
Well
basically.
said. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's a great answer. So whereas arrogance and narcissism come from places of insecurity, genuinely confident people are secure with themselves. That's
Well, I mean, I don't think nobody can be 100% confidence. Like I mentioned before, confident, sorry. Like
Mhm.
I mentioned before, you can be confident one day and then something happens and you just lose your confidence.
Mm.
Like I'll give you an example. So I've got a friend. He's extremely good looking, gets a lot of attention from ladies. Anywhere in the world he goes,
Mhm.
he doesn't even need to do anything. Ladies actually come to him, and I'm not even over exaggerating. So anyway, he comes to Japan, and you know how it's a bit different in Japan. Most people are shy.
Mhm.
So anyway, he comes to Japan expecting females to, come
Throw
running to
themselves
him.
at him. Yes. Okay.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And then I noticed we went out clubbing. This is years ago, by the way.
Mhm.
We went out clubbing, and because Japanese females are generally shy, so they're not necessarily going to come up to you. And it kind of unsettled him because
Mm.
he was at the club, he was standing around, he was waiting for females to come to him, and nothing was happening. And we just
Let them
had
in.
this
Let them in.
conversation after, once clubbing was done. He was like, "Oh, this kind of unsettles me because usually,
Mm.
I get females, coming after me." And I could tell as the night was progressing, he was kind of losing his confidence. This is a guy that can take his pick, and I could just tell as the night was progressing, yeah, he had lost his confidence. So I know I'm rambling on, but
No, it's fine.
there's a thin line. Even the
Mm.
most confident person can just lose it just like that.
Yeah, the club has done away with many people's confidence. The club will get you. Yes.
Mm.
Excellent answer, Francis. Excellent. As we do this interview, this Q&A session, I notice you appear to be in the kitchen. And it's interesting because I recall you actually enlightened me to something that I guess had been a staple in the fitness where I never heard till you told me that abs, your stomach, is not really built in the gym, it's built in the kitchen, which leads to my next question. Given your experience as a personal fitness trainer, is it easier for people to correct bad habits in the gym, or is it easier for people to correct bad eating habits?
Mm. That's a tough one, and it depends on the person because
Of
everyone's
course.
different, of
Mhm.
course. But I would probably say it's easier. I'd say it's more difficult to change bad eating habits because you've probably been doing these things for a very long time. So it's not like you
Mhm.
can just say, okay, stop and start eating healthy. It takes time. Um, from my experience, a lot of people start off when they want to change their diet. They go from one side of the spectrum to the other side. And what I mean by that, they go from eating their junk food, and then all of a sudden the next day they say to themselves, okay, I'm going to eat healthy, and
Mhm.
they overhaul their whole cupboard. And I think that's quite difficult.
Mhm.
And um, yeah, they end up rebounding. They end up going
Mhm.
back to their former diet because it's difficult. However, um, personally, I think they're one and the same. Like
Okay.
bad eating habits and bad gym habits. If you can change one, I think you can change the other. They act in tandem. It's like a domino effect. If you can change your gym habits and you start going to the gym regularly, I think you probably think to yourself, well, okay, I'm doing this. So, and I can see changes. So let me start changing my diet.
Hmm.
You know, it's like, what's the phrase I'm looking for? Anyway, it's like a domino effect.
Okay. They work hand in hand for the most part. So they're not exclusive.
Yeah,
They're
they work
working.
hand in
Okay.
hand.
All right. Excellent. Well, speaking of habits, habits, as we know, are established for the most part. Good habits and bad habits are established early in life.
Mm.
You have two beautiful boys. And to those watching that have children, what would be your advice in terms of how to implement or instill good eating and exercise habits in children?
Well, from my experience, that's just my doorbell. Well,
No
hopefully
problem.
just let that
No
run.
problem.
From my experience, kids are extremely observant. They watch every single thing you do. So you have to lead by example. If you want your kids to be healthy and have healthy eating habits, you have to play the lead role. You've got to act how you want them to be. So um, to start with, I always exercise. I exercise in the morning, and my kids watch me. And without even me making them exercise, they actually just copy. They naturally just copy everything I do.
Mm.
So that's one way. Exercise around them, and they will see it as the norm, and they'll start copying you. Um, Eating, now that's a tough, with food is a tough one because my wife, she's not as strict as me when it comes to diet. So
Hmm.
she'll give them chocolate and all sorts of junk food, whereas I'm on the complete opposite side of the spectrum. So we clash in that sense.
Okay.
However, I do, if they do eat junk food, if my wife does give them junk food, I do make sure that they eat healthy food as well. So if my
Okay.
wife gives them a donut, I make sure that for dinner they have broccoli and other types of vegetables and stuff like that. So um, to answer your question, you have to lead by example. You've got to, eat. If you want your kids to be healthy, you've got to eat healthy food. Don't buy the junk food, or buy the junk food once in a while.
Mm.
If you want your kids to be active with them, play with them, make it fun.
Most sad. Some people leading by positive example. Most sad. Thank you so much, Francis. Let's move on to this or
Right?
that. You know how that goes, brother. 5 questions, no elaborate explanation, just this or that. 5 things. Okay, first, treadmill running or outdoor running?
Outdoor running, straight up.
Next question, machine training or free weights?
Free weights.
Okay, third question, fish or chicken?
Chicken, man. Black people love their chicken.
A lot of folks may or may not know. Those who know you know you. This is a big R&B guy, so I have an R&B one for you. Jodeci or Boys to Men?
Boys to men.
Oh, okay. And this last one may be difficult for you, but you can do it. Chelsea or Man United?
Neither.
This or
Neither.
that? You got to
I,
choose.
um,
This is an Arsenal man, by the way. Strong, staunch Arsenal guy. Chelsea or Man United?
Chelsea.
I know that hurt you, brother, but hey. Francis, this has been a pleasure. A pleasure, brother. You've educated us so much. Before we break out, man, is there anything that you want to say, or is there something you want to promote in terms of how can people get in touch with you if they want to utilize your services?
They can. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. Kwapsy Fitness. Kwapsy Fitness. Just holler at me there. Um, all I have to say is, look, health is wealth. Invest in your health today so that tomorrow you can just relax. I've seen it, you know, like a lot of people don't wait until you're old before you start exercising, basically, because I've seen it time and time again. You know, people wait until they're in their 50s or their 60s, and then they start complaining about, oh, I'm out of shape, or my back hurts, or this and that. Start early. Start in your 20s. Start, and you know what? And this is especially for people in their 20s, because those are the people that are the most lax about their health.
Mm.
Start early. Take care of yourself now, and then you'll be all right. Because when I compare I'm not saying I'm great or anything or I'm special, but when I compare myself to the people that I went to school with, I started taking care of myself in my 20s, and I
Mm.
compare myself to them. There's a huge difference. I mean, look, I could, just because I take care of myself doesn't mean I'm going to live forever, but
Mm.
you know, the things that you can control, you know, make an effort. So yeah, health is wealth. Invest in your body.
Well said. Start early, be
Start early.
consistent,
Be
have good
consistent.
habits.
Yes. Very, very important.
So, Francis, it's been a pleasure, brother. Thanks for gracing us with your time. Look
Thank
forward
you.
to
And
catching up
you.
again soon. Oh, no problem. Thank you, brother. CJ Marks here, the Confidence Series. Thanks for joining us. Take care. We'll catch you later. Peace.
Peace.
Well said. Thank you. Well, let's talk about that World Championship speech. That was not your typical Toastmasters World Champion of Public Speaking speech.
Yeah.
Linda Marie, what inspired you or motivated you to take that route for the World Championship of Public Speaking?